We all have dreams. Things we're going after, things we're hoping for. Just ultimately endless desires. And we do achieve things. It depends how big our desire is. Some desires might never happen, but a lot of desires are fulfilled. But do we ever stop and recognize? Do we ever pat ourselves on the back for achieving something that one day only seemed like a distant dream? And I know a lot of us get stuck in just this constant pursuit. You could say it's the pursuit of happiness. And I do like that song. Pursuit of happiness, and I know. But a lot of the times it never seems to arrive, because once we achieve something, we automatically start focusing on a new dream, a new desire, and it just seems kind of endless. So how do we reach happiness? It is ultimately about gratitude, just being grateful for what you already have, what you've already achieved. But if you're only focusing on gratitude, then you're never going to achieve anything else. So how do we reconcile this dichotomy of these opposing forces of desires and happiness? They don't seem to go together at all. Because if you're focusing on one thing, you become just a Zen monk who's just like, I'm grateful for everything. I don't need anything else. So you're not pursuing anything. You're just present with existence, which is fine. You can do that. But I just think if you just do that, you're missing out on so many things you could do. And on the other hand, if you're constantly pursuing and achieving dream after dream, and you're just constantly on that side of pursuit, you will end up feeling just miserable, because it's a constant state of lack. And you're always after the next thing. And so that's sort of what I'm reflecting on. How do you find this balance of enough desires while at the same time enough appreciation for what you've already achieved, enough gratitude, which ultimately leads to happiness? It's like, how do you get that 50-50? Do you spend 8 waking hours just focusing on gratitude, things you've achieved, and then the other 8 hours you focus on pursuing new dreams? Is that how you're meant to do it? I don't know. It's an interesting thing, but I don't think enough people talk about this. Because I know so many people, and me myself, I've struggled with this my whole life. I have a lot of desires. I have a lot of dreams. And I have achieved a lot. I've finished college. I've gotten a degree. I've traveled so many countries. There's so many things that I have done. And, it's hard to measure your own happiness. I do think I am happy, but I don't think I'm as happy as I could be, which is hard to see. How do you know what you're missing out on? Because happiness is so arbitrary, right? You can easily say, I'm happy, but it doesn't really mean anything. It's not something you can measure. And I know I have consciously delayed my happiness to when I achieve a dream, I'm just like, no, I can't be happy. And I know this is common. I know people do this. They just say like, I can't allow myself to be happy until X, until I've achieved this, then, only then can I be happy. And, I have said that for dreams, but then, you you are happy for like a few days, a few weeks maybe, but then eventually it wears off. So like, what's the point of the delay? That's what I'm trying to say. Was there any worth in it to delay my happiness? Because it was a conscious choice from my end. But I did it for so long, for so many years, just delaying my happiness, that right now it's just, even after achieving my dreams, it's sort of become like an unconscious thing to not be happy. And I'm not saying I'm not happy at all, but it's just a thing where I'm so used to delaying happiness that I'm not sure if I'm truly happy. And I try to stay present and grateful for everything around me, but it's hard. These feelings of contentment and happiness, it's very nuanced, hard to measure, but I think it's about sort of relaxing yourself into the present moment, just relaxing yourself, everything is okay, and just being just grateful for the moment, grateful for the things you do have. And many of us might have a lot of things going wrong in life, but there's always something you can find to be happy about. At the very least, you have your breath. At the very least, you are alive. You have another day to spend on Earth. And I don't think we should take even that for granted. We gotta recognize how grateful we can be about the things that we do have, because so many people have it way worse. And it's easy to get wrapped up in your head about, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. And like I said, is that the dichotomy of desires and gratitude, like they're just opposing forces that we gotta learn how to integrate both completely balanced. So perhaps a gratitude journal is a good idea, and also a desires journal, perhaps. It's curious. I am trying to just relax myself into happiness, but I also can't focus on that. I want to achieve things, So how do you do both? How do you stay grateful and stay in the pursuit of dreams and goals, desires, while at the same time being like, yes, I'm so grateful for everything around me and everything I already do have. Surely it's possible to do both. Of course it is. But it doesn't feel very intuitive because they are opposing forces. You can't do both at the same second, or can you? Gratefully chasing your dreams? Now that's an interesting term. Gratefully desiring. Is that possible? Gratefully desiring. Oh, man. I haven't heard anyone really discuss this. And I think a lot of people are just wrapped up in desires. There's not enough gratitude in the world. Really not. But we must take a step back and see that there's so many things all around us, all the time. The people in our lives, the state of the country. A lot of countries are not in war. And, a lot of people are not in poverty. It's the most curious and strange thing to hear that billionaires are depressed. It's just, that, I don't know, it's just crazy to me. It truly shows that perspective is everything. And I'm trying to work on this myself as I'm speaking, because it's just become this deep habit of mine to constantly focus on my dreams. And then it is very easy to forget to be grateful. It just happens automatically in a sense. But then I have tried to, truly move into gratitude, and it becomes sort of pointless, you could say, because then I'm not moving anywhere. Then I don't have a purpose, really. So it really is about finding that balance. And that's what I'll be working on. It's very important. I haven't thought about this enough, really. It's just something I've come to terms with quite recently, because it takes a while to grasp this sense of duality, you could say, between these two opposing forces, whatever you want to call it. just ways, states of being, states of experiencing the world. It's all perspective. So how do we have this perspective of grateful desiring? I want to coin this term. Grateful desires. Because at first, that term, that phrase doesn't make sense. How can you be grateful for a desire? And that's not exactly what I'm meaning. It's not being grateful for desires, even though that's what it sounds like. Or that the desires themselves are grateful, which doesn't really make sense. Maybe it's better to say grateful desiring. Or desiring in gratitude. Yeah, I do like that. Grateful desiring. Grateful desiring. Wow, I like that. Yes. We must all be grateful, gratefully desiring. Can you do that? Can you gratefully desire something? Being grateful for the things you've already achieved from your previous desires, while at the same time desiring new things. That's what I want. Ultimately, that is my ultimate desire. So if we can be very clear about this, I think this can have a profound impact on our lives. Because that way, we remain in purpose, while at the same time happy about what we already have. And I don't think delaying happiness has any value, really. I think it did amplify like my happiness for like a few days, the fact that I delayed it for so long, but it comes back to baseline after a few days, so it's not really worth it. It's not worth to be miserable for years just for a few days of extra happiness. What's the point? It's just not productive at all. And, you know, I don't think I was miserable constantly, but it's definitely something I've delayed. But we just gotta try to stay present and see that there's so many things that could be way worse. And I have needed this reminder a lot of times. And whenever I hear people say that, it brings me back to, oh yeah, man, it's really pointless to feel bad about yourself for not achieving something. That's not gonna help you. It's not gonna lead you to an optimal, happy state. And it has taken me a while to learn this. And I think a lot of people are still stuck in this paradigm of always looking for the next thing. And the life is happening. Life is happening right now. The sun is shining. The birds are chirping. The grass is growing. It's green and luscious. The world is already here. You've already made it. You're alive. So being miserable in a fairly normal state, as many of us are, it boggles my mind that I have been miserable and that many people still are just down on a daily basis. They distract themselves on the phone and the news and drama and just gossip and just rumination about pointless things. When life is here, life is happening. It's all around us to be appreciated, but we don't. We stick our heads in the sand or in our phones, basically, most of us, and drown out, numb ourselves completely. And I've done this myself. I try to stay present. Like, I don't want to distract myself. There's no reason to distract myself from the beauty of the world. I just don't understand. I feel like social media has hijacked our attention, because attention is currency, and all these apps are designed in a way to stimulate our dopamine and grab our attention so that they can show us ads, so that there might be a chance that we buy a product. And there's some good ads I've seen. One time I got an ad for a good band, so I went to a concert. I mean, there's good ads, of course, but 99% of ads are just annoying. But it's just such a strange world currently. But we gotta be aware, we gotta have the right perspective. And not tell ourselves that we can't be happy because we haven't achieved something. It's a toxic mindset. And I've fallen into it so much. It's ridiculous. I want nothing to do with it. I want to be gratefully desiring. So I hope more people can understand this principle that you can't be happy if you're constantly only desiring and that's the only thing you're focusing on. Because you're gonna put off life. Some people put off life for their whole life. And that's crazy. That's mad. Okay, I don't want anything to do with that. I want to soak in. I want to soak in the beauty. I want to soak in the moment. Each moment, all the time. And I want to share this experience. I want to share this state of being with as many as I can. And I don't want to lose myself in desiring. But I do want to have a purpose. And whether that purpose is to make videos or make music or just give people a new perspective of life, so be it. But I just want to make sure I'm doing things for the right reasons. Ultimately, it's all up to us. Once we realize how much we can do, how much we can change about our lives, it can blow our minds, really. Because I do think it's very natural to live a certain way. You know, you develop habits, you live day to day sort of the same, you know, you wake up, you do the same things, you eat the same breakfast, yada yada yada. I think that's a very common thing to do. But I think it's important to take ourselves out of our patterns, to sort of experience something new, just see what that can teach us about life. And in order to do that, we have to take a step back. We have to stop distracting ourselves, stop with this noise of everyone's opinions, of the world just keeps trying to tell us what to do. We have to recenter ourselves and listen to our inner voice. What is it that we need to focus on right now? What is it that could be either holding us back or leading us down the wrong paths? But in order to see that, you have to look at it honestly. Just look at it. We have to be very, very honest with ourselves. And it can be hard, because the mind loves to play tricks on us. Tell us that, oh, this is the right thing to do. I don't know what you're on about. But we have to question our ways. Question them more than once. And try to see them from multiple perspectives. It does help to share your ideas so you can get an outside person's perspective on it. Because our own mind can get very echo chambery. You just hear your own perspectives over and over. You're not getting something new in. And this can happen even with other people. You know, if you have a certain group of friends that talk about the same things, doing the same things over and over, that can also become an echo chamber. So you gotta make sure you're expanding your social circle, you could call it. And this could be very profound to do, if we can. Now, this can be pretty good to do online, by talking to various kinds of groups of people, you get new ideas, you get new perspectives. You can see that the way you've been thinking about something might not be the best way for you. I mean, it could be, but when you hear a different perspective, you can contemplate it and be like, huh, maybe they're right. Maybe they're onto something. It's all about having an open mind, not be so stuck in your worldview, but allowing new ideas to flow in. Because ultimately, there's infinite perspectives. I mean, what is a perspective? It's not a solid thing. It's very malleable. It's very flowing. It can be changed by your environment. It's something that can be that's in constant flux. And it's important that we do stay open and receptive to new experiences and new perspectives. And so, yeah. But ultimately, what I want you to take from this video is to focus on being gratefully desiring. Yep. I just think that's really it. You can be gratefully desiring. You're set. That's all you need. And it really has taken me a long time to fully condense this concept, because I really thought that delaying happiness would, it would build it up, it would stack up. So when I do achieve, it's just gonna be like insanely amazing. And I mean, it was kind of, but like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Just be happy now. The present moment is always with you. And gratitude doesn't have to come in the way of dreams. You can do both. All right. Well, thanks for watching, Dicers. If you enjoyed this video and you're new, consider subscribing. I want to make more inspiring and uplifting content, because a lot of the things I talk about, I'm learning as I speak. I'm discovering new ways of viewing life all the time. And so I want to share all this because I think it can be truly helpful. And so, yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching, Dicers. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.